Welcome to Despicable Me Deep Dive Podcast. Today on the show, we're diving into Fort Knox Gold, Musk's audit demand. You sent over some really fascinating stuff this week, all sparked by Elon Musk suggesting this live video walkthrough of Fort Knox.
Yeah, on X, right. It definitely got people talking again.
It really did, and it brings up these huge questions, doesn't it? Like, is the gold actually there? And, what's the real story behind this whole mystery?
Exactly. It's not a new question, that's for sure.
So that's our mission today, trying to unpack it all, separate fact from, decades of speculation, and figure out why this keeps coming up.
Right. And Musk's posts, they really just tapped into something that's been simmering for a long time.
Yeah.
Our sources show this speculation about missing gold or tampered gold. It goes back decades.
Yeah, decades. And one of the big sticking points looking at the materials is when the last real audit happened. Some say the last full audit was maybe 1953.
That's what some claim, yeah. And it's important to separate that from the 1974 event.
Oh, right. That one gets mentioned a lot.
Yeah. But one of your articles breaks it down. It sounds like it was more of a partial inspection. Treasury folks, some journalists got a look.
But not a full count. Not every single bar.
Seems not. More like a spot check.
Yeah.
Not a complete inventory.
Okay, that's a big difference. And since then, reading through this stuff, access has been super restricted.
Uh-huh. Tightly controlled.
And not just for, regular people. We're talking senators, elected officials, Rand Paul, Mike Lee. Your sources say they've tried to get access, pushed for transparency.
And been denied. Repeatedly, in Paul's case, for over a decade.
Which, makes you wonder, if it's all there, why not let them look?
Well, the official line, and your sources cover this too, is that Treasury officials across different administrations, they insist the gold is there. It's secure. High security internal checks.
But no recent independent proof, verified by outsiders.
That seems to be the missing piece.
Yeah.
The thing that could really put the questions to rest for a lot of people.
So, okay, let's talk about what's supposed to be in there. What are the numbers your sources mention?
All right, so the figure given is about 147.3 million troy ounces, roughly.
Million troy ounces. Wow. And that's what, most of the U.S. gold?
Yeah, about 59% of the Treasury's total gold supply, apparently. All in that one spot.
And the value. I saw a couple of figures.
Right, one analysis you sent, using a price around $2,930 an ounce, put it at $431 billion.
Billion, with a B.
Yep. Another source mentioned maybe closer to $450 billion at current market prices. So a staggering amount of money.
And physically, how's it stored? Your sources had details on the bars, right?
Yeah, something like 368,000 bars, a bit over that, actually.
Okay.
Each one weighing about 27.5 pounds. So total weight, over 5,000 tons of gold.
5,000 tons. It's hard to even visualize that.
It really is.
So if someone did want to audit this, properly count and check everything, what are we talking about? Your sources made it sound like a nightmare.
Oh, it'd be a massive job, a huge undertaking. One estimate you found figured at least 18 months.
18 months. A year and a half.
Yeah, and needing something like 44,400 man-hours.
Just, wow. What kind of team and gear would you even need?
Well, this estimate suggested a team of maybe 20 people. And they'd need specialized stuff. Good scales, obviously. Portable XRF scanners.
Those are the X-ray things for checking purity.
Right, X-ray fluorescence. Gives you an idea of the gold content without drilling into it, though they mentioned needing drills too, potentially, if they found issues. Plus, carts to move the bars, extra lighting. It's involved.
So not just walking around with a clipboard.
Definitely not. And the space itself is a challenge. Your sources describe 13 sealed compartments. Bars stacked tight, sometimes right up to the ceiling, several rows deep.
So moving heavy gold bars around in there, tricky.
Yeah, likely restricted to just hand trucks, probably. Slow going.
Okay, so the 18-month estimate starts to make sense. Your source broke that down, didn't it?
Yeah, they figured maybe 2 months just for security clearances for the team.
Right, gotta vet everyone.
Then the physical audit itself. Counting, weighing, inspecting, scanning every bar that's the bulk of it. Maybe 14 months.
14 months of just handling gold bars.
Pretty much. And then another month and a half, 2 months for processing any discrepancies, writing the final report.
And they estimated how long per bar?
Around 7 minutes, I think, including finding it, moving it, checking it, scanning it.
7 minutes. Times 368,000 bars.
Okay, yeah, the math adds up to a long time.
It really does. It puts Musk's live video walkthrough idea into perspective. A real audit is way more complex.
For sure. But it leads back to that uneasy question, doesn't it? Given no recent full audit, what if it's not all there? Or some is fake? What do your sources say about the fallout?
Well, that lack of a recent independent audit is exactly what fuels the speculation. And like one source pointed out, finding counterfeit gold in the Bank of England's reserves didn't exactly help calm nerves.
Right, I saw that mentioned. An Australian senator found fake bars there with duplicate serial numbers. Yeah, that kind of thing definitely raises eyebrows.
Yeah.
Makes people wonder about security everywhere.
So if, hypothetically, a big chunk of Fort Knox gold was missing or fake, what happens then, according to your sources?
The potential impact could be severe. Your materials talk about a major hit to confidence in the U.S. economy, globally.
The dollar.
Could plummet, potentially. If faith in the government's financial backing shakes, the dollar's value could really suffer.
And what about other assets, people looking for alternatives?
Some analyses speculated, yeah. Maybe a shift towards things seen as safer, like gold itself, ironically. Or silver, maybe even crypto. People looking for alternatives outside the traditional system.
Now, historically, the U.S. has the biggest gold stash, right? Over 8,000 tons.
That's the official figure, yeah. Over 8,100 metric tons across all depositories. Largest reported reserve.
But there was that weird detail about how the Treasury values it, something like $42 an ounce.
Yeah, that's the official, book value, set way back in 1973. Obviously, the market value is, vastly higher now, over $2,900.
So the book value is almost symbolic.
Pretty much, for accounting. But the real value, the symbolic value of having that gold, is huge. Several sources stress this. It underpins faith in the U.S. government's financial stability.
So if that faith gets shaken,
the impact could be massive, regardless of that old $42 figure. It's about trust.
Okay, this whole topic just seems ripe for rumors. Your sources must have mentioned some of the older conspiracy theories.
Oh, absolutely. They've been around for ages. Missing gold, linked to, European bankers, the Rockefellers. Those kinds of stories pop up whenever Fort Knox is questioned.
And the government has tried to push back sometimes, right? Like that 1974 tour.
Yeah, that tour was specifically to try and dispel rumors floating around back then. And one source mentioned a congressional hearing in 2011 about gold security.
And more recently, didn't Mnuchin visit Trump's Treasury Secretary?
He did, yeah, in 2017. Said the gold was accounted for. And apparently, Trump's current pick, Scott Bessent, also said it's all there.
So consistent statements from officials.
Yes. Across administrations. Always the same message. The gold is present and secure.
But the doubts linger for some people. Why do you think that is, based on the materials?
I think it comes back to that missing piece. The lack of a full, independent, publicly transparent audit in, modern times. And the restricted access, even for senators, that fuels skepticism. For many, official word just isn't enough without proof.
Right. And there's that angle, too, about why this is getting attention now. Some sources suggest Musk, maybe Trump, are trying to sow doubt, undermine institutions.
That's one interpretation, yeah. Questioning something so fundamental could erode trust in government, in the financial system overall.
But the flip side, which your sources also touch on, is that maybe it taps into a real desire for more transparency.
Exactly. Maybe it's less about conspiracy and more about people wanting accountability. If everything's fine, why not just show us? Prove it with an independent check. That basic call for government transparency seems to resonate.
So, wrapping this deep dive up, Fort Knox gold. History, secrecy, audit questions, massive value, potential consequences. What are the main takeaways?
I think it's that potent mix, really. The historical secrecy, the fact that we haven't had that clear, independent verification recently, and just how important this gold is symbolically and economically, it just creates this ongoing mystery.
And the sheer difficulty of actually doing a full audit, as your sources laid out, it's a monumental task.
No doubt. But despite the difficulty, those questions about the last real checkup and why access is still so limited, they don't really go away, do they?
No, they don't. And whether Musk's live stream idea happens or not, who knows? But he definitely put the spotlight back on it.
For sure. Which leaves us with a big question to think about based on all this. In a time when people are demanding more transparency, how vital is it to independently verify huge national assets like this? And what does the uncertainty itself mean?
Thanks for tuning in to the Despicable Maine Deep Dive podcast. Remember, living in Despicable Maine is theft of your life.
Kentucky stone lies a treasure that we're told we own, stacked in silence behind locked doors since '53. Who's keeping score? Elected voices knocked in vain, turned away like ghosts in rain, stealing secrets, golden chains. Is it truth or just a name? Is there gold behind the walls, or just echoes in the halls? Truth is heavy, can't be faked, but the silence makes it shake. If it's real, then let it shine. Don't just guard it, draw the line. Go behind the walls, or nothing there at all. 7 minutes per bar, they say, would take years to clear the grave. 5,000 tons of glitter doubt, but they won't let the people find out. 42 on the book's sold page, while the market screams in golden rage. They claim it's there, they swear it's sound, but trust ain't built on word of mouth. Is there gold behind the walls, or just echoes in the halls? Truth is heavy, can't be faked, but the silence makes it shake. If it's real, then let it shine. Don't just guard it, draw the line. Go behind the walls, or nothing there at all. Is there gold behind the walls, or just echoes in the halls? Truth is heavy, can't be faked, but the silence makes it shake. If it's real, then let it shine. Don't just guard it, draw the line. Go behind the wall.